Wow. 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 What the hell did I just witness? Wow. What? Wow. All right, man. All right, man. Okay. All right. See, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, bro. I understand Jalen Brunson is clutch. Okay? I understand he has the gene. I understand he has that. I've seen him do it a million times. I've seen him do it to my Philadelphia 76ers a million times. When it gets to the fourth quarter and you need a bucket, oh my God, bro. When it gets to the fourth quarter and you need a bucket, it's like the basketball gods just reach out at heaven and guide the ball into the hoop, man. What? Man, hold on. It was cold up here, but as soon as I started talking about this shit, I got hot, man. Damn! What Jalen Brunson just did was unbelievable. We gotta call it what it is, man. Look, man, just a couple days ago, I came to acceptance that the Knicks didn't just run through the East because the East is horrible. I came to acceptance that the Knicks running through the East as dominantly as they did really meant something. Even after that video or live stream, whatever it was, people were still saying the Knicks don't have a shot. You know, my fellow Sixers fans who hate the Knicks, they were still saying Knicks don't have a shot against the Spurs or the Thunder. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just, like, they don't look like they really have a weakness. There's a lot to talk about in this game. For those that are listening in the morning in podcast form, and if you didn't watch the game, the New York Knicks won Game 1 of the NBA Finals 105-95, and it ended in absolutely dramatic fashion. As a basketball fan, it was amazing. As a basketball fan, it was amazing, right? Because it's, you know, like they were saying on the broadcast, a heavyweight match. This team punches back. Run here, run there, right? Neither team was going to lay down and die. Neither team was going to let the momentum take over. They were just battling each other the whole game. And it comes down to the fourth quarter. And it literally comes down to Victor Wembanyama versus Jalen Brunson. I mean, the NBA can't ask for anything better than this. The NBA cannot ask for anything better than this. Two superstars in today's game. In the NBA Finals, Game 1. The game is just primetime cinema. And it comes down to two superstars, not literally head to head, but basically head to head. Each guy desperately attempting to drag his team to victory. You get the Knicks go up by 7 before Wemby comes back in the game. You get Wemby back in the game. He immediately attacks. He says, "That's it. I'm gonna lead my team back to victory. I'm gonna lead my team back to victory. This is what I do. This is what I do. I didn't go live with monks in China all off season to not show up in this moment. This is what I do." Victor Wembanyama does that. The problem for the Spurs is Jalen Brunson can also do that and has been doing it for much longer. Victor Wembanyama comes in, immediately attacks Karl Anthony Towns, immediately draws, I think, 2 fouls on him in a row. First he hits a three, then he gets the and one finish on Towns. Then he draws another foul. 8 straight for Wemby. Wemby comes in. No, 6 straight. Hits the three and what? Yeah, do math, Eastwood. 8 straight for Wemby when he comes back in. Jalen Brunson says, give me the ball. Just give me the ball, man. Give me the ball. Brunson hits that 3 from the corner to put him up 1. You knew it was going in. There's just no way. You know what's crazy about me doing this is that I've hated the Knicks, man, my whole life. And it's such a conundrum. Enjoying watching greatness, but it being the New York Knicks, you know? But anyway, in the corner to put him up 1. If you've watched Jalen Brunson enough, there's just no way on this planet Earth he was missing that shot. And then shout out to Karl Anthony Towns for his defense on Victor Wembanyama most of this game, honestly. But I'm pretty sure that final possession, Wemby just tried to go right at him again, draw a foul or something, and Towns did a great job of defending it without fouling. And the Knicks come down, and they need a dagger. I mean, come on. Who didn't know Brunson was getting the ball? The thing is, if you double him, he will pass the ball. I'm not going to say Brunson was just going to, go Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant and shoot over a triple team. He's a point guard at the end of the day. He's a smart player. But Devin Vassell played such good defense on him. And he just pump fakes, leans in, shoots the ball 479 feet into the sky. And if you could have paused it and allowed me to bet my life that ball was going in the hoop, I would have done it. Splash. Just that dagger by Jalen Brunson is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Because you just saw it happening. You just saw the momentum coming. You saw him hit that corner 3. And you just knew for some reason that shot's going in. For some reason that shot's going in. And it went in. And I have no choice but to commend it. I have no choice but to commend it. But the game was just a battle back and forth. And Jalen Brunson just did Jalen Brunson things at the end. And there's nothing else the Spurs could have done to stop it from happening. There's nothing else they could have done to stop it from happening. Brunson was just... I'm just going to start with Jalen Brunson. He was absolutely unbelievable in the game. He didn't even shoot well, but I don't even care. I'm going Josh Hart here. We don't care about analytics. We don't care about efficiency. We don't care about field goal percentages. We don't care about none of that. I love watching the game and not looking at stats the whole time. Guys, just give it a shot sometime. It's how we used to do it back in the day before phone apps were a thing. You just had to watch the game, right? And they would tell you the stats the next day on SportsCenter. I guess Jalen Brunson was having a bad game. It's what some people were saying. 38% from the field. But I don't give a damn. That does not matter to me. I watched Allen Iverson growing up. The guy would shoot 30% for 3.5 quarters and dominate a game at the end and win the game. And that's what Jalen Brunson just did. And he had a couple of really important runs all by himself in this game, man. The one that stands out, I'm just going to name all of them, I think, that stand out. The 8 straight points on Carter Bryant in the second quarter was just mean. It was disrespectful. It was a bully picking on the new kid, bro. Guys, if you didn't watch the game, go back to the second quarter and watch that 8 straight points that Brunson rips off on Carter Bryant. I mean, he was just taking his lunch money possession after possession after possession until the Spurs had to call a timeout and bring the run they made when Wemby went on the bench in the second quarter, when the Spurs had that pseudo bench lineup out there. Jalen Brunson saw Carter Bryant on him and he was drooling. And he just ate him for lunch, bro. Pause. You know what I mean. He just absolutely destroyed him. But anyway, there was another run that Brunson made basically single-handedly. It was the fourth quarter. It was the fourth quarter, yeah. He took over the fourth quarter. I mean, he was getting buckets throughout the game. The Knicks run, actually, at the end of the third into the fourth, they went on a 20-6 run, and OG Anunoby was a huge part of that. OG Anunoby ripped off 8 straight, and that was a bench lineup with Brunson on the bench, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, they got contributions from everybody, but I just wanted to talk about how ridiculous Jalen Brunson was when it mattered the most in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and if that's going to continue, I'm not going to say it, but I'm just saying, if Jalen Brunson is as locked in for this whole series as he just was at the end of that fourth, the NYPD is going to have to set a curfew. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. What else, man? What else? I can't believe it, dude. I can't believe it. I want to say shout out to Karl Anthony Towns for his defense on Wemby the whole game, really. You know, I just had a little video earlier today talking about the Mitchell Robinson news, and the Knicks are screwed if they don't have Mitchell Robinson because Towns is going to get into foul trouble trying to guard Wemby. And the funny thing is, before the game started, or maybe right when it started, I said to my girlfriend, I was like, you know, she asked me, like, this is funny because she's asleep downstairs right now. But she asked me, she was like, so Towns plays and then they bring in the other guy? God bless her. But she asked questions. She's learning, and it's awesome. But I was like, yeah, basically, you know, Mitchell Robinson's a big physical defender that will, you know, guard Wemby at a lot of points in the game to kind of take the pressure off of Towns, and so he doesn't have to guard him the whole game. And I was like, I said, you know, because Towns isn't really a very physical defender. And then I corrected, then I kind of argued with myself, and I was like, but it's not like Wemby's a really physical player either. You know? He's not. He's not going to move people out of the way. It's why he struggles against, you know, some physical defense at this point in his career so far. He scores most of his points on, you know, mid-range jumpers and threes and running dunks. And so I was like, Towns should be able to guard him. And Karl Anthony Towns did a great job guarding Victor Wembanyama in this game. I thought he did a great job of defending without fouling most of the game. Honestly, the fouls that were called on Karl Anthony Towns were just like late reach-ins and swipe downs for no reason, you know, almost intentional because he knew he had fouls to give. You know what I mean? He only had 4 fouls in the game, and I really thought Wemby was trying to draw fouls on him. And he just did a great job of moving, staying in front of him, giving him, you know, playing him physical and not fouling too much. And I just wanted to say, you know, shout out to Karl Anthony Towns for his defense on Victor Wembanyama in this game. You know, Mitch came in with the broken hand, with the wrap on, and did his thing, and he had some points in the game that were where he played great defense too, and had some boards and you know, contributed to the win. But they didn't need Mitchell Robinson as much as I thought they were going to need him, because Karl Anthony Towns, I thought, played great defense on Victor Wembanyama, man. And every time Victor Wembanyama went to the bench, the Knicks had a clear strategy of attacking the rim immediately. Luke Cornett is a good defender, but he's obviously doesn't have a 12-foot wingspan like Victor Wembanyama. And so I thought they did a good job of that. I even thought, like, with Wemby on the floor, the Knicks did a great job of getting him away from the rim before they drive, right? Like, they had such a clear game plan. A lot of teams go against Wemby, and sometimes it seems like they didn't even do a scout job. They didn't even, You know what I mean? They'll just go right at him. What game was it in the playoffs where Wemby had 12 blocks? The only time we're going to go to the rim, really, if Wemby's on the floor, is when we strategically get him away from the rim. I thought Towns at points in the game had Wemby on the three-point line and would just sprint to the rim and basically just try to get there before he could get his 7'5", his 10-foot reach to block the shot. And there was a play in the fourth quarter where Brunson, curled around a screen and got a layup, and Mitchell Robinson was literally sealing Wemby from the paint while Brunson was laying it in. It was a team effort on both sides of the ball for both teams, but the Knicks even really had like a real team camaraderie, synchronization effort to score with Wemby on the floor. And I thought they obviously practiced hard, and they came out prepared. For the San Antonio Spurs, man, they made 2 3-pointers in the second half, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to get it done. The Spurs need to shoot the ball well from 3, quite possibly more than any team in history, because you want to be able to spread the floor for your 7'5" alien around the paint. And if you're not hitting threes, the defense can start to shrink, right? They shot 25% from 3 the entire game, but that third quarter for the San Antonio Spurs was disgusting. 8 for 23 from the field, 0 for 9 from 3-point range. And brother, listen to me when I tell you they weren't even close. Man, Devin Vassell hit the backboard so hard with the ball, they almost had to bring a new freaking backboard into the place. Julian Champagnie, who was on fire in the first half, same thing. Missing by 5 feet, smacking the corner of the backboard. One of the only ones they made in the second half was the Deuce McBride, and he accidentally banked it in. And then Wemby hit the one from the top of the key. The Spurs just went absolutely ice cold in the third quarter, and that was really, that was the major turning point of the game, right? Because they were up by 14 in the third, and the Knicks went on a 7-0 run with Victor Wembanyama on the bench, and that was the start of it. And again, it was a lot of it was those 8 straight from OG Anunoby. You had back-to-back offensive rebounds from Karl Anthony Towns in that sequence there. It ended up being a 20-6 run by the New York Knicks to tie the game. A 20-6 run, and just hustle by these guys, by Josh Hart and OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, and 20-6 run to tie the game. And then they're trading buckets in the fourth. And Brunson hit a tough one in the beginning. How many points do they have in the fourth quarter? Let me see Brunson here. And let's go to the fourth quarter, man. He had 13. He had 13 points in the fourth quarter, man. And the last 5 were just a gut punch to the San Antonio Spurs. But, he just tough bucket after tough bucket after tough bucket. And I even tweeted, I saw it coming, man. I was like, Jalen Brunson's about to cook, isn't he? He's about to cook, isn't he? Fourth quarter started. Jalen Brunson had a couple of ridiculous, off the glass on the right side, off the glass on the left side, you name it. And I was like, Jalen Brunson's about to cook, isn't he? And cook he did. He was cooking so hard, the San Antonio Spurs had to send a random fan onto the court to take a selfie. So security had to run on to get him so that they could try to stop the Knicks' momentum. I know what you were doing, San Antonio. I know that kid works for you. And Wemby did everything he could to try to bring him back there. Wemby rips off 8 straight, and Brunson says, "No, sir. I got this. I'll take care of this here. Thank you very much." Landry Shamet had 13 for the Knicks, man. 13 big ones for Landry Shamet. He was 3 for 6 from 3-point range. Landry Shamet plays better defense than you would expect. You know what I mean? So shout out to Landry Shamet. Shout out to Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado had some major parts of this game in those minutes where Brunson was on the bench there in I think the end of the third quarter. Part of that 7-0 run that OG Anunoby kind of started, right? When Brunson was on the bench. And there was a segment of the game where Jose Alvarado hit a three, talked trash to Julian Champagnie. I mean, just right in his face, right? Julian Champagnie hits a three, talks trash back. So you got that fire, that spark of energy from Jose Alvarado coming off the bench, just no fear, ready to take a big shot, ready to talk to whoever wants to talk, you know. So they just got contributions from their bench. And OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, 18 and 12. He was incredible. I thought he played great defense on Wemby. But he led the team offensively too, man, a lot of times throughout this game. And Towns plays so hard, man. He just plays so hard, man. He does, man. He plays really, really, really hard. He's a little dramatic, you know, don't get me wrong. He's a little dramatic, right? Yelling at the ref every time somebody touches him, you know. But Karl Anthony Towns played his ass off in this game, man, and the Knicks got a good game from Josh Hart also. Look, only 3 points, but Josh Hart had 15 damn rebounds and was a plus 22, and that's game one. The Knicks win game one, man. What else is there to say about the Spurs, man? Dylan Harper had some big time moments. I feel like in the first 2-3 quarters, maybe. Not a damn thing in the fourth for Dylan Harper, man. And Dylan Harper's 20 years old, man. But you know, the Spurs are gonna have to find a way to feature him a little bit, I think. You know what I'm saying? The Spurs are gonna have to find a way to feature Dylan Harper a little bit. He didn't have a single field goal attempt in the fourth quarter, and he's a big guard. He doesn't play like a rookie. He can assert himself. And Dylan Harper should not have. Did he get hurt or something? Mitch Johnson. Did Dylan Harper get hurt or something? What are we talking about here? What am I missing? Somebody let me know in the chat. Because how does somebody affect a game for 3 quarters and then they play 3 minutes in the fourth and don't put up a shot? I need to know the answer to that, Mitch Johnson. I need to know the answer to that. Stephen Castle had 17 in the game. Let's see. He had 6 in the first half. He had 12 in 3 quarters. 5 in the fourth. Played his ass off. Played hard, man. You know, good defense. But I can't explain how... Jalen Brunson just ripped their hearts out at the end of the day, man. He just did, man. Julian Champagnie went ice cold in the second half, man. He was 5 for 6 from 3 in the first half. What did he do? Tell me he scored no points in the second half. Tell me. 0 in the third and 1 in the fourth. Julian Champagnie with 15 in the first half and 1 point off of a free throw in the second half. So, man, it's going to come down to shooting for the San Antonio Spurs, man. I really think it's going to come down to shooting for the San Antonio Spurs. You know, when you really look at it, they don't have a lot of great shooting, right? I don't know all their season percentages, but I'm going to say Dylan Harper's not a great 3-point shooter, right? I remember Stephen Castle not being known as a good 3-point shooter, right? Devin Vassell is a good 3-point shooter. Obviously, Julian Champagnie is the best 3-point shooter in Spurs history. But Steph Castle and Dylan Harper are going to have to shoot better. De'Aaron Fox, man. De'Aaron Fox, man. Oh, my God, bro. Is there a more inconsistent, is there a more hot and cold player on God's green earth than De'Aaron Fox, man. Wow, De'Aaron Fox. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And there's games where I said the Spurs need to bench De'Aaron Fox. There's games where I said they need to bench De'Aaron Fox at halftime. They need to play Dylan Harper in place of De'Aaron Fox. Dylan Harper's better than De'Aaron Fox. I've been saying that for weeks. People aren't trying to hear that. People aren't trying to hear Dylan Harper's better than De'Aaron Fox. They aren't trying to hear that. But every time I watch the Spurs, I just... De'Aaron Fox doesn't do much for me outside of either make shots or miss shots. And if he's missing shots, he's cooked. You know what I'm saying? De'Aaron Fox had 7 points in this game. He was 3 for 13 from the field. He was 0 for 4 from three-point range. What did he do in the fourth quarter? Goose egg, 0 for 2. A terrible game from De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron Fox, man, he might be the X factor here. He might be, I don't know if X factor is the right word. People always tell me I'm wrong when I say that. But he might be very, very, very important for the San Antonio Spurs in this series. Well, he is very important because you traded for De'Aaron Fox, right? I believe they, right after they drafted Steph Castle, they traded for De'Aaron Fox at the deadline, and then they drafted Dylan Harper. Let me know if my timeline is off there. But De'Aaron Fox was supposed to be the number 2 to Wemby, right? You draft Wemby, you trade for De'Aaron Fox. That was the beginning of this team. De'Aaron Fox is supposed to be the number 2 to Wemby. 7 points on 3 for 13, De'Aaron Fox. He's just so inconsistent, man. And the Spurs just basically have to hope that De'Aaron Fox gives them a good game 4 out of 7. That's what they have to hope. They have to hope that De'Aaron Fox gives them a good game 4 out of 7. Wemby had 26, 12, and 2. He was only 6 for 21 from the field. Again, shout out to the defensive effort from the New York Knicks. But I also think that there was a point in the game where Wemby just looked out of sync. You know, sometimes like he comes back in the game after sitting for a couple of minutes, and I do think this does have to do with an inexperience level, right? Where he'll come back into a game and just try a little bit too hard to assert himself immediately and take a couple ill-advised shots. And it looks like he's forcing it a little bit instead of letting the game come to him. You know what I mean? I think that I saw that in like the first half or something with Wemby, and I was like, he just looks a little bit out of sync, you know? So I think he gets ahead of himself a little bit instead of letting the game come to him at certain points in the game when he really wants to put his stamp on things, or maybe the Knicks just went on a run and he wants to, you know, help his team come back. And it worked in the fourth quarter. He did help his team come back. Again, they were down by 7, and Wemby ripped off 8 straight in the fourth quarter. But man, the Spurs essentially go ice cold in the second half. And it comes down to Wemby versus Jalen Brunson. They trade punches. And Jalen Brunson just bro. There's no explanation for the dagger that Brunson made over Devin Vassell in the foot. There's no explanation for it, man. He's not supposed to make that shot. I gotta commend him, man. I gotta commend him. Hey, 822 people in here, man. Thanks for being here. What's up, man? What's up? What's up in the chat, man? Why is my chat on the screen, man? Let me see. We got some supers, man. Let me see if I can get it up here on the screen. Oh, I got this off. Hold up. There we go. Now it should show up, right? Yeah, there we go. Loudmouth Lee, what's up, man? I didn't have neutralized Wemby on my bingo card. Thank you for the $2 super chat, man. I mean, the Knicks have slowed down Wemby before, right? They held him, and holding Wemby to 26 and 12 is, you know, he's a player that can give you 40 and 13 like he gave the Oklahoma City Thunder in game 1 of that series. Holding him to 26 and 12 is I don't know if it's neutralizing, but it's slowing him down, right? And actually, the last game the Knicks played the Spurs, which was March 1st, I believe. That was the game where they held the Spurs to 89 total points. Wemby, I think, had 25 and 13 in that game. Or 30 and 12, whatever it was. But still, they played him very physical. And in the fourth quarter, you know, they did their thing. And they held the Spurs to 89 points. The last time they played him, they just held the Spurs to 95 points tonight. So now this back-to-back games where the New York Knicks have had numbers of the second half. But I love the way it was officiated, man. No flops allowed out here in these NBA Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals, and now the NBA Finals. No flops allowed. They're just straight up not calling it. I don't care, you know. And there was even, you know, the Devin Vassell push on Jalen Brunson. I think the play where he hurt his ankle, it was a foul. But the fact that he leans away and kind of dives onto the floor, the official's like, I'm not calling it. You know what I mean? So I think the way they've been officiating these games is really making the players come to a realization, I got to fight through contact and put the ball in the hoop, and they're going to give me the foul. Then this is they're officiating this like FIBA rules, and I'm enjoying it. I just wanted to say that, but yeah, they've neutralized Wemby. They've neutralized Wemby before, man. Hey, we almost have 1,000 live viewers in here, man. Do me a favor, hit the like button one time. 900 people live. Give me 900 likes. We'll hang out, do a little Q&A, man. We'll do a little Q&A here. Super chats get priority, of course, because I got to keep the lights on. But we'll do a Q&A, man. Too Many Clamps 130, thank you for the super chat. If at any point in this series there is a whole arena chanting flopper at Wemby Spurs, my life would be made whole. Why is that? Is Wemby a flopper? Or was he flopping in this game? I didn't see a whole lot of flopping in this game, man. I really didn't. I and honestly, when I talk about how it was officiated, and I talk about how the officials, you know, refusing to reward players on these like cells, I think Karl Anthony Towns in the first half, you know, kind of just flailing a little bit too much, right? Kind of throwing himself every time somebody touches him, kind of yelling at the ref every time somebody touches him, and they just weren't calling it. And then the second half, I didn't see any of that from Towns. In the second half, he just put his head down and went to the basket. And I commend that, man. He was like, all right, I got to go put the ball in the hoop, and that's what he did. I like that. Man. Let's go in the chat, man. What you guys got? The Spurs messed up letting Chris Paul go. Chris Paul would have been hurt by now, brother. Chris Paul is 49 years old, bro. Is Chris Paul even in the NBA? Chris Paul ain't doing shit in 2026, bro. Come on, man. It's going to be a bad month for Philly sports fans. Oh, we're not talking about that, bro. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about A.J. Brown up in here. Vincent, what's up, man? I don't think any OKC or Spurs fans watched any Eastern Conference ball at all. Spurs and OKC fans just thought we were inferior conference and not worth caring about. Yeah. But I don't really think it was just the Spurs and OKC fans. I think a lot of it was coming from Eastern Conference fans. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of fans didn't want to give the Knicks credit, including me. You know? And a lot of people were in my comments like, bro, you're talking about how much the Atlanta Hawks choked instead of just the Knicks are way better. You know, then they'd be like, you're talking so much about how the 76ers choked. Maybe the Knicks are just way better, right? Then they're like, you're talking so much about how the Cleveland Cavaliers choked. Maybe the Knicks are just better. It took me 3 whole playoff series to finally say that. But I've heard it all playoffs now that the Knicks don't have a shot, and you know, just wait till they get to the finals so they'll get swept. And I'm like, I don't know, why would this team get swept? You know, they got one of the clutchest players in the NBA, and he just showed you in game 1. They got shooting, they got defense, they got bench scoring, they got rebounding, they got interior defense, even though Mitchell Robinson only has one hand. The Spurs are, this ain't going to be easy at all, man. The New York Knicks might win an NBA championship, guys. After Knicks swept us, everybody screamed how bad the Sixers suck. I did the opposite and said I'm watching a buzzsaw of a team right now. But the Sixers do suck, though. Like, they really fucking suck. You know what I mean? Let's not get that misconstrued. They do suck. And now they're bringing back Nick Nurse and still praying that Joel Embiid can stay healthy and just bring back Paul George. I mean, the Sixers suck, dude. Wake me up in 2029 when that shit's over. They fucking suck, dude. But anyway, you're right. The Knicks were the better team. Now, when Joel Embiid was healthy, that's when the Sixers came back from down 3-1 against the Celtics. And that's a better team than the Knicks really played because Joel Embiid got hurt again because he always gets hurt. But, you know, let's not forget that Wemby doesn't have his tackling fuel Chet Holmgren. Tackling fuel? Jalen Brunson was believed in by Donnie Nelson. Cuban screwed both of them, but look at Brunson now. As a diehard longtime Thunder fan, nothing makes me happier than seeing our conference rival get cooked by the Knicks. A Waterboy reference, my bad, bro. Tackling fuel? I don't remember that part of the movie. I remember... What did the guy say, man? What did the guy say? I forget. It's too late for me to think of movie quotes, man. If the Knicks win in 4 or 5... All right, chill. Chill, bro. See, this is what everybody does. This is what everybody does every time. Everybody always takes one game and runs with it, man. When the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Spurs in Game 1 in the Western Conference semifinals, everybody takes that one game. Oh, the Spurs are inexperienced. They don't have the experience. The Minnesota Timberwolves are taking them. It's going to be a sweep. It's going to be a gentleman's sweep. Everybody has to chill, bro. It's one game. Spurs fans, calm down. Knicks fans, calm down. I know telling Knicks fans to calm down, you might as well go headbutt a wall. Dude, they're probably they're probably climbing the street poles. They're probably climbing the traffic lights in New York City right now after one game, man. That's how you can't tell Knicks fans to calm down. But it's one game. The Spurs go back, they make adjustments in game and game 2's a little bit different. Now, watching the game, I'm not really sure what those adjustments are. It's just that they're going to have to shoot better. De'Aaron Fox has to not suck the whole game. You know? Wemby's going to have to make shots. They're going to have to make a shot in the second half. Let's start there. You know, I don't really know what the adjustment is here for the Spurs. They just need to shoot better in game 2. At the end of the day, I thought they played a great defensive game. There was just nothing you could do on Jalen Brunson. And there was nothing, man. I'm not sure what the adjustment is, man. I'm not sure. Pete Wine is like your show, man. Keep up the good work. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you. The Wolves were injured and the Thunder were injured. You know who else was injured, man? You know who else was injured in the Western Conference Finals? The San Antonio Spurs. De'Aaron Fox, sprained ankle. Dylan Harper, pulled hamstring. I'm not trying to hear that, bro. I'm not trying to hear that. Everybody's banged up, man. Everybody's banged up. Knicks just saved basketball. All right, bro. Take it easy. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy. One game. One game. Take it easy. Take it easy, man. Yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. Knicks take game 1. We'll see what the Spurs do in game 2. Again, I'm not sure what the adjustments could possibly be. But they're not going to shoot 5% from 3 in the second half again, right? They're not going to shoot. What they shoot? 25% from 3 on the game. They shot 20%. No, they shot 10% from 3. I'm sorry, in the second half. 10%. They were 2 for 19 in the second half. So, what can you do? Ace Fuego, thank you for the super chat, man. How does that change is they win Friday as well? Oh, my bad. It's late, man. And I can't read in the first place. Central Pennsylvania education. How does that change if they win Friday as well? If the Knicks take Friday, it's 2 games in New York. How does what change? I mean, if the Knicks win Friday, then they're up 2-0. Then the Spurs need to go win 2 games in New York. The Knicks aren't taking 2 games in San Antonio. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, and y'all know how accurate my predictions are. Y'all know that I have never gotten a prediction wrong when talking about NBA basketball. Not a single one. My entire life. There is not a chance on this earth that the San Antonio Spurs don't win Game 2 in San Antonio. Wait, does it go? Wait, there's no home court, right? Is there home court? Why don't I even know how the NBA Finals works as far as who plays where? Is it 2 games in San Antonio and then 2 games in New York? I think because the Sixers have never been close to the NBA Finals in my life, so that's probably why I don't know. It's the same. Okay, 2 games in San Antonio, 2 games in New York. Yeah, so, I mean, the Spurs are obviously going to win Game 2. That's just, you might as well get ready for it. All right? And somebody said, there you go, doubting the Knicks. I'm not doubting the Knicks. They're not going to sweep. Calm down, bro. It's going to be a 7-game series. We all know it. We all know it's going to be a 7-game series. Spurs are definitely winning Game 2. But, Knicks win Game 1. Jalen Brunson was outrageous. Karl-Anthony Towns was great. Josh Hart was great. OG Anunoby was great. It's a great win for the Knicks, man. That's all I got. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're the best. See you soon. Peace.